Just real quick, first let me thank the panel. What an outstanding job. We do have a couple of quick questions. I know we're up against a break, and I always hate to stand between people and their lunch, but the bottom line is that we have a great panel here today, and I think one of the questions that we would be remiss if we didn't ask, and I'll just ask the whole panel, and it follows nicely on what Chris was just talking about. One of the questions that we see a lot out there is, how do you successfully market or network your business? Or more specifically, how do you get to the right person? Because I hear, how do I get to the right person over and over again? So I just throw that up to all three of you, and if anybody wants to jump in, go ahead. So how do you successfully market or network in the oil and gas business? And more specifically, how do you get to that right person?
Yeah, I'd be happy to take that. You know, today's a perfect example of taking part in activities like this. But in the beginning, and I'll admit in the beginning it was a lot easier because there was a lot of activity to get done in a short amount of time. So I would say in the beginning it was a little bit easier to get to those people because the opportunities were a little more readily available. Since that time, it's really a lot of asking questions and phone calls and trying to ask others what they know about the organization, who the right person is. Most of the times when you reach out to one of the producers, if the person will tell you who that right person is, to get into the MSA chain and get an opportunity, at least to present your qualifications. And then the reputation, you know, after you get an opportunity, is really that reputation. In the beginning, my lack of understanding, I had one client. I thought that's all I should work for because it was like a big secret. And I quickly found out that the network among the producers is phenomenal in terms of giving recommendations to others to recommend more awesome, which I thought was pretty cool because, you know, that as long as you don't take their resources away. So it's I think participating as much as you can. It does take diligence. It does take time. You're not going to make 1 or 2 phone calls and get a project. It took us 8 or 9 months, even when it was right for picking it the first time. And you have to stay with it. When I met one of the early producers I met with, had dinner with, he said to me, he said, just keep coming to these events. And after a period of time, you'll get to be friends with the people who are very open. And if you show up and you show your commitment, eventually you'll get a break. And he was right, you know. And it's you have to be consistent. You have to keep showing up, and you'll find out who the decision makers are. And a lot of times you'll just bump into them in the hallway, but it's just you have to be visible.
Great. Bill, you talked about registering online, I believe, and that's the preferred